Hey guys, good morning to you from the Philippines. Want to say Happy New Year to one and to all. The current local time in the Philippines is January 2 and it's 8:39 a.m. in the morning. I'm about to share this link in one more group and hopefully we'll see our viewers will grow. If it's your first time here, we ask that you hit that thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know where you're watching from. And we're definitely going to keep this nice and spicy. So, my goal is to do this report um, basically in 24 minutes. Okay, so once that clock hits 24 minutes, definitely going to shut down the feed. We're going to keep it nice and spicy. A lot happened this year. And so this is our year-end report. This is also my New Year's greetings to you, to one and to all. And without you guys partnering with us, there's just no way none of this would have been possible. So that being said, let me hit that share button. There we go. All right, that's taken care of. And if you're watching from my personal account, I'm monitoring the chat, so definitely. But I'm not gonna be able to flash anything on the screen. Anyway, if it's your first time here and you have no idea who I am, you definitely want to go check out my YouTube channel, my Facebook, and that's my name right there. So definitely, that's who I am. I'm in the studio by myself today. Give us a like on Facebook. You can follow us on YouTube. And speaking about YouTube, we have the latest content on YouTube. Go check it out. That's the latest content there. Thorough vlog doing that mission last year. So go check that out on my YouTube channel, Flying to Help Bring Closure. Right, you can definitely check that out on YouTube. I'm not an Instagram person, but every now and then I put a content or two over there, so you can definitely check that out. You can share this video if you are being blessed with these mission stories. Okay, so how do I put 2024 into 24 minutes? That's a big challenge for me. I'm always wanting to share more and more with you guys. So because I'm gonna keep it summary and short, spicy, if you have any questions, please email them to me. My email addresses are right there on the screen. And I can't say how grateful I am for your support throughout the years. Website for more info, you can check out my website there, by his stripes ministries 1844.com, flyingbyfaith.org. We're gonna try and squeeze you guys in this week with questions that you might have, but it's gonna be at the end. All right. At the end, we'll try and squeeze you guys in for any questions or comments that you might have, right? So we definitely want to keep it like that. Okay, that being said, here's the summary, guys, because as I said, I'm just get it right into it. That's the summary of this year. 119 missions. That's from January to December 2024. Guys, it was a busy year. 119 missions. And when we say missions, we're talking about whatever we do with that airplane. It's from medevac, cargo, locally stranded individual, courtesy call, anything for the ministry that's time critical that they ask me to fly some missions. Sometimes it's maintenance where I have to ferry the plane from one base to the next so that I can basically get some work done on it in theory, right? I think I can lower my table a little bit more. Awesome. There you go. So, yeah, so basically that's missions, right? They come in various size, shape, form, length, time, etc. The shortest mission that I've done this year, round trip 1 hour. The longest was 7 hours and 40 minutes, somewhere there, about a little over 7 hours. this year. And so 119 missions, which look at the fuel burn, guys, 5,082 gallons of fuel, or 19,237 gallons of fuel. That's a lot of fuel, guys. That's a whole ton of fuel. The airplane burns about 11 gallons per hour, except for times when patients are critical and I have to push it a little bit faster than the usual cruise conservative setting. So when I have certain, like if the patient is on oxygen and it's really a, what do you call this? Yeah, they're on a lot of oxygen and my oxygen is not going to last forever. I'll push the plane a little bit more, meaning I'll be more less conservative. So I'll make the mixture a bit rich to get more power out of the engine to go faster so that I can get that patient to that airport, ambulance to the hospital. What else is on the summary? 190 quarts of oil. So, end of December last year, we started a fundraiser for a drum of fuel. It was about 100 something thousand pesos, yes. And you guys donated for that. I was able to get the drum, and that's good because the oil change is every 25 hours. I do an oil change. The year started out mildly busy, and then by the time we get to the middle, it just rocketed through the roof. At one point, I was doing my oil change every 7, 8 days, so I was logging a lot of hours, and I change the oil every 25 hours. So I was doing 25 hours every 9 days, 8 days. I'm doing 25 hours, and that was something that had its challenges. So if I didn't have that drum of fuel, I would have to be going into Manila to just get two boxes that has 10 quarts, or in 12 quarts rather. So two boxes, they give 12 quart, it has 12 quarts. Every oil change, I put 10 quarts into the airplane. So that would have been going into Manila every other week, and hopefully they will accommodate me with two boxes of fuel. So when you guys donated that drum, it saved me a whole ton of headache and time where my drum of oil is sitting in the hangar. I still have it. It's going. I think I just reached about half drum now. So give or take, if I'm this busy next year, I should have enough oil to keep going for 2025. 455 hours flown this year. It's my busiest year. 2022, I just saw the summary for 2022. I flew a little about 215 hours in 2022. 2023, I don't remember the summary of that. But hey, 2022, 2024 doubled, right? 450 hours. That's pretty busy, but believe it or not, the 455 hours, it's solely on a filtered basis, meaning there were a lot more missions that I was requested to do, but I had to filter a lot of them. So the ones that I chose to do based on like weather, availability, resources that I had, etc., I was able to do um 455 hours flight time, right? Just 119 missions. If I had accepted every single mission I got, those numbers would have pretty much almost doubled, right? And so missions and the different things, we have to do it on a filtered basis. We do get a ton of requests. We have to prioritize some of them. There were some that didn't follow through because people either didn't get a hospital that they need to go to, or they found another means of travels, or they just decided, like I remember some relatives who wanted to go home and die, and I couldn't accommodate them at the time, because I had other requests that had more higher priority. Some of them didn't make it. Some just accepted that they're just gonna die in that particular location, and so those are 450 hours this year. I mean, last year, it was on a filtered basis. $53,933 or 3,138,679 pesos. Wow, guys. I mean, 3 mil in 1 year. Airplanes are not cheap. That's just the reality. They're not cheap. When anything breaks on that airplane, every time I get a list of parts and equipment and whatever I need, that easily can get up to $1,000, $1,500, sometimes 2 5. I remember one gentleman. He brought something, brother Skeet. He brought some stuff over for me, one regular size suitcase, and the contents of that was 5,000 US dollars. I remember when Jonathan Benson came in, I think it was January, February this year, 2024. He gave me a list of stuff, and that quickly reached $1,000. My other buddy, Ray Sikich, he brought some stuff for me, 2000. I mean, every time I put a list together and ask someone to get it to the Philippines or ship it myself, it's always over $1,000. And I did that multiple times this year. Some of the expenses include, I'm renting where I'm at. My vehicle, I keep that maintained because that's what gets me to work and back. Sometimes I use it to run all these errands, paperwork, cargo, pickups, things, and my rice ministry, etc. So some of the expenses, apart from the airplane, the other side of the ministry that financially we have to offset those expenses. Imagine in 1 year. This airplane cost $65,000 2 years ago, $65,000. 4 years later, 2022, so 2 years later, in 1 year, we almost spent the same amount that we paid for the airplane. That's crazy, isn't it? But when I think about the missions and the different lives being saved, it's worth it every time. And without your parents' support, there's no way we would have been able to do that. And so, um, definitely this year, we're hoping to spend less, but it's an airplane. Anything can happen. The engine time on it is now over 700 hours since we bought it at 5 hours. We got it at 5 hours on the engine. And now it is 726 hours, most of which is flown primarily by myself. And so the engine is halfway towards the recommended, I mean, the manufacturer's guarantee warranty. It's a 1,500 hours, they say, to the time of overhaul. So it's halfway there in 2 years, and it was down for 11 months. So you take away a month off, that's a 1 year, 1 month, and that's how busy this airplane has become. I mean, has been doing. So we want to break down the summary for you guys here, in terms of what exactly constituted that 119 missions. 58 were medical transport. When you say medical transport, you're talking about individuals who are having some health issues. Their area is very limited on medical care. And so they will send in a request where they need to go get some x-rays done. They need to get a what do you call that? Like pregnant women, they need to go get a checkup to see what's going on. Sometimes we have individuals, they've had like a mild stroke. There, where they are, the healthcare facility there is not sufficient to help them to recover from that mild stroke. And so when you say transport, often more or less, not that critical, but definitely it will continue to deteriorate if they don't go to another facility. Sometimes they're not even sure what's going on. It's a long list of complications, and they will request me to take them to another area where they will get some second, third opinion. There's times when people have, like, I had some seniors this year who had scheduled checkups. So they had their family doctor, and they go out every couple of months to get that checkup, get the maintenance, medication, and be back. And they're pretty fragile, so the boat, which is long, strenuous, would not be the best for them. So that's medical transport. More or less stable patient. They don't give us much challenge on the flight. On average, they'll be on oxygen due to just 7,000, 8,500 feet. They'll usually their O2 sat will drop. Apart from the O2 sat, the rest they're pretty stable, and we help them. Next on the list, we have 11 emergency medivacs. 11 emergency medivacs. Basically, these are people who have had severe health issues. Most of those are accident cases. So motor vehicle accident. Sometimes something happens, a person got hurt, and we rush them out. There's one story I'd like to share with you from the list of the emergency individual. It's it's a young man by the name of Milton. Milton. I believe Milton was 12 years old, and Milton was on a motorcycle riding on the back. He fell asleep, and as the motorcycle was making a turn, he fell off, and he had a head injury, caused him to be pretty much unconscious, disoriented. Very challenging mission. When I picked up Milton, I thought Milton was not gonna make it because his O2 sat was so unstable. He has no idea what's going on, where he's at. Picked him up, and it was a Sabbath. I picked him up, rushed him out, took him to another airport. The ambulance picked him up, and they did a surgery on his brain, found out there was a clot in the brain. And that clot was enough to cut off communication with a lot of stuff happening up top. And they removed the clot, and immediately he became conscious. After recovering from the surgery, he became conscious. There was an issue with one of the eye not fully open. When the surgery was done, the eye started to open, and he was able to see a little bit. Gave him a fist bump, visited him and his family. And so Milton definitely was a huge blessing to me this year. Of all the critical patients, Milton stood out the most because young, and that one flight really helped to make a life changing difference for him. And I share that with you guys, and I hope that inspires you to know that 3 million being spent on this airplane this year and this base and its operations. When I have stories like Milton in my mind, every single dollar, every single pesos and centavos, it's all worth it every single time. Sadly, these are the toughest missions. 12 cadaver transport. Sometimes they don't make it, and we're asked to fly to help to bring closure for the family. I yeah, it's one of those things. They're tough missions, really tough missions to fly. Sometimes the request comes in before they die, like they sense death, they know it's coming. The doctors say, "Yeah, for sure, you're not gonna make it," and there's times they ask to go home before that happens, and sometimes we're able to make it to help them before they die. Sometimes we're not able to, and so we do cadaver transport. One story of that one that stood out to me is there was a gentleman from Batanes. He's a dad, business owner, and he was ill, and we were asked to transport him. I brought him out, and unfortunately, by the time he got to the hospital, within 24 hours, he passed. And so the family asked if I could bring him home for closure of the family, but based on how they wanted to bring him back, I wasn't able to do it, and that's because they wanted him in a coffin, and I cannot fit a coffin in that airplane without removing the person first. Like the dimension has to be so precise in order for it to fit, and so I wasn't able to do that. But it's when it comes to cadavers, I pray for emotional strength all the time to be able to do it. 5 locally stranded individual. Sometimes I help different government personnel, different individuals where they might be somewhere stuck, stranded, boats not going, no other commercial flight, and I'm not busy with any medevac, and I'll pick them up and take them to wherever they need to go. Cargo, every so often I'm asked to do some cargo run. Most of those ones this 2024 was for my ministry, bringing supplies to the other guys. Sometimes it's time critical parts that the shipment will take a week, but on the airplane it's only a couple hours. I do missions for the ministry, and some of it were maintenance. Only 28 of those. So that pretty much is the breakdown of this year. We have 3 minutes left, and what I want to share with you coming up is definitely the insurance is due, I think, the 25th of this month. So keep that in your prayers. May is now putting the avionics together for the airplane so I can have equipment that's been sitting for 2, 3 years. So pray for that as well. I'm having a little bit of challenge with the renewal of the airworthiness that will expire in 4 days from now. Keep that in your prayers as well. I'm looking to have a bigger nose fork that's going to come with another big purchase. So I'm praying for that. There's the airplane definitely is going to need some paint job pretty soon, because however, how they painted it, it doesn't have the proper paint. So every so often it's stripping and peeling, and so on. And then there's just some minor stuff here and there. But nonetheless, we're grateful. With 2 minutes left, or a minute and a half, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, thank you. Look at these statistics, guys. Without your prayers and support, none of this would have been possible. So I just want to take the time out to say Happy New Year to one and to all. Special thanks to all my donors who partnered with me in 2024. We have touched hundreds of lives, right? We have touched a whole lot of lives, and we just want to encourage you to continue to partner with us. We'll be praying for you. Keep us in prayers. And you have all my contact details. You're more than happy to reach out to me. Happy New Year. Keep safe. Blessings. Walk good. Love everybody. And I look forward to continuing this work. So, on behalf of Philippine Adventist Medical Aviation Services, Davin Bennett, yours truly, I just want to say maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. God bless everybody. Walk good, Likamore. Do not touch that dial. I have something special for you before you go. Yeah, man.